Hi everyone, welcome back to River and Rune. Thank you guys for joining me on the channel today. It's a rainy day here in New York City, but I love the rain and I like it when it has that very gentle quality to it. So, we have just entered into the Celtic month of Holly, and Holly is a really powerful tree. Holly is connected to fire, to the waning year. It's connected to strength, vitality, courage. Also has a lot of connotations and connections to the underworld, to spirituality, and has often been used as the wood that ancient Celts would create their spears from, because it's extremely hard wood. So very much has a warrior aspect to it. It carries the torch, the fire into the night. And we're heading towards Lammas or Luchtnasa, and that just means August 1st. We're heading towards the beginning of autumn, the beginning of fall. And it's very exciting because it's a time of bounty, a time of bringing things into fruition, having a transition from the power of the oak, the power of the waxing year, and finally transferring that energy, this very masculine solar energy, into the power of the earth goddess, who carries all of the abundance, the wealth, and the prosperity that is coming in the fall months. So, got some cool things coming up. I know you guys were here last week to check out the month of July and what's going on. This one is going to be just a regular week ahead reading, and we'll see what the runes have in store for us. Alright, let's get started. Interesting. Whoa. So that's interesting. I'll talk about that in a second, because this is the second time that this happened to me when I was doing a personal client reading, which of course you guys can also book me on my website if you want a personal rune reading, and my website is riverandrune.com. And so let's get started. As you guys know, for those of you who are new on the channel, I start in the center, radiating outward across the rune table. So imagine like a drop of water that hits a still lake. That rippling energy is how time passes in our life. So we'll start in the middle here. It's really interesting because we have a lot of things waiting for us. So there are 3 runes that felt very close to the center, and I want to talk about them because they feel interconnected. So I want to start with Sowilo. So Sowilo is the rune of the sun, right? So vitality, courage, strength, power, this energy of joy and happiness and following one's passions. That's a beautiful rune to have. But it's connected to these 2 other runes that fell on their sides. They're not quite upright and they're not quite merkstav, or reversed. And we have Fehu, which fell on its side. And we have Perthro, which also fell on its side. So, Fehu is the rune of abundance. Literally what we were just discussing about entering the month of Holly, entering the month of Luchtnasa, entering the month of Lammas, where we're heading into that autumnal energy, the energy of abundance, of wealth, of harvesting what we have sowed. Now, Fehu is that rune. It's the rune of abundance. It actually represents cattle, which was the ancient Celts' way of having monetary and financial gain. It was through having how much cattle you have. And then we have Perthro, which is knowledge of one's destiny. It's a very feminine rune. For those of you who do tarot, it is associated with the High Priestess. So a lot about intuition and coming to understand your purpose in life. Now these all fell together, and I find it very curious because it's suggesting that this week is going to be a time to connect to your vital energy, to find whatever it is that brings you joy and whatever it is that brings you happiness, and really start, really do it, really go into it. So if there's been anything that you guys have been thinking about doing, whether it's starting a new class or writing that book you've always wanted to write, or deciding on changing jobs and looking for something different, whatever it is that your intuition has been telling you, there's a lot of presence and energy and vitality that's waiting for you to move forward in that direction. And your abundance and your connection to your destiny is dependent on that. Because all of these runes fell together, Fehu, Perthro, and Sowilo. Because Fehu and Perthro fell on their sides and Sowilo has such a strong presence, the sun's energy is suggesting, are you going to tap into your own personal sun? Are you going to tap into that warmth, that self-compassion, the self-understanding, and take those beginning steps on the very long and beautiful journey ahead towards actualizing your abundance and actualizing your intuition and actualizing your destiny? It's just pretty powerful, actually. A very strong reading. So this week is going to be really transformative for a lot of us, and I do suggest that we take our time in actualizing that energy. And as you guys know, we're still, working through Black Lives Matter movement, and we have had several beautiful, I believe it was Supreme Court judgments that have been beneficial to the Native American communities of America, of Turtle Island. So there's a lot of this energy of like, let's keep pushing forward to actualize the things that we see. In a global scheme, it would be actualizing all of the beautiful energy that we're looking for to transform, really. And what I find interesting is towards the edge of the rune table, we have Ewas. Now I love this rune, but Ewas also fell on its side here, a little bit on the Merkstav side. So I find that very curious because it also feels like this partnership or this connection, because of course Ewas is about transformation, transition, it's about liminality. It is the bridge between summer and autumn. It's the bridge between that vital life force energy into the abundance of what you've created. So this really is a transitional moment, and I feel like what we decide to do this week is going to be really influential in terms of how we embrace the coming fall, how we embrace the coming autumn. And it really much depends on whether you're going to be able or willing to embrace all of this beauty that's waiting for you. That's the word that came to my mind. All this beauty that's waiting for you. So because Ewas fell on its side, it's also waiting on you. It almost feels like your destiny is waiting on you. Like it's waiting on you to make the first move, to make the first step. So I thoroughly suggest that whatever it is that you were thinking about doing this week, whoever's watching around the world, that you put your mind to it. Set time aside for yourself, because especially in a capitalistic society that we have at this time, one of the greatest forms of resistance is rest. One of the greatest forms of resistance is providing yourself the time that you need, not only to rest, but to give yourself the gift of time, and to set aside time and space for you, your projects, your personal growth. And if someone calls you, a friend calls you, or if you have something to do, or there's like little things that you can put aside, they can wait for you. Your friends can wait while you focus on yourself. Or that little thing that's been niggling in the back of your mind, that little errand that you had to do, that can wait while you focus on you, right? Focus on the errands that you actually need to do for your own personal growth and development. And I wanted to talk about this gebo that fell like under the table. And I find this very curious because I've noticed this happen to me before in a private client reading where the rune fell under the table, and it felt to me that the rune suggests that there's something waiting for you underneath all of this, underneath the surface. There's something rumbling, something brewing beneath the water, something brewing underneath the surface, and it's this gebo. So there's this beautiful gift. It feels like as you gift yourself the gift of time, the universe is waiting to give you the gifts that you've been looking for. So take this week in stride. Take this week with presence, knowing that we're headed to Lammas, we're headed to Lugnasa, we're headed towards the autumn. And we still have some time so that we can harvest these beautiful gifts that's waiting for us. So this week is really important and really imperative to focus on your goals and your dreams, whatever they may be. So I wish you guys a wonderful rest of your week. I give my love and support, of course, to all of the people who continue to fight for the Black Lives Matter movement, who continue to fight and continue to stand firm and tall around the world for the indigenous people of the planet. The people who, we had a beautiful, a very powerful win for the people of Standing Rock. Also, we're heading up on the full year anniversary of the protests and the standing tall in Mana'awakea in Hawaii, which is beautiful. So a lot to celebrate, and I hope that my love and my support and all of my energy and my good prayers continue to go to all of you who are on the front lines and to all of you who are working towards a greater and better community, a greater and better understanding of our human relations and the relations outside of humanity. So I wish you guys a very beautiful rest of your week. I'll see you guys next week on River and Rune. Please subscribe and subscribe to this channel, like this video, and have a good time. If you want to find out more about me, you could always check my website at riverandrune.com and check out my Instagram account, River and Rune, and also my other Instagram account, Gabriel Jonathan Miranda. That's me. And I'll talk to you guys soon. See you all later.